The last thing that happened after searching the bottom floor of the inn, you guys heard some creaking upstairs and ascended the stairs. At which point you found four dead villagers up here that attacked you. It was actually pretty pitched battle there for a minute, right? Amir took some
Yeah, one of
hurts.
them critted me.
Yeah, I think Logan took some damage, or maybe it was Fitz. I don't remember who.
I think the two guys who were second one took damage.
Yep.
Yeah, that's right. Okay. Um, and they'd literally just fallen over dead when we ended the session. So the very last of the dead things was killed, and that's where we pick back up.
Okay.
So I've advanced the calendar. It is now, let me see, we are on the 25th day of Chase in 1488. And we are, yeah, that's where we're at. So, last zombie falls over dead.
Emir will kind of lean against the wall, breathing heavily. These are starting to stack up. I don't know how many more of these I can slice down without a rest. Clearly, he's been like clawed at around his shield. I guess along his neck or somewhere on his body. He has a wound that's bleeding. And he'll just kind of, let's fit this character. Where's my figure? There it is. He'll walk over and sit down at the table.
All right. Torgrim will wander around the room, just kind of looking at things while he rests. I'm not very tired, right? I haven't been hit or anything. I don't have.
I think you may have spent your spell slots on acid globs that never hit anything. Or maybe that was a cantrip.
No, I just used cantrips, so he's still got little spell slots.
Okay.
And no injuries, yeah. This room is obviously showing the effects of being abandoned for the winter. One of the windows, well, several of the windows were left open over the winter, and there's water damage and broken things from zombies running about and bumping into things. On the table that Amir is sitting at and Logan was recently standing on, there's the remains of a card game of some kind that was being played. Some cards and a small pile of coin on the table.
It's a bookcase that I'm over, but it looked like books on the floor and stuff. Is there anything interesting in this corner of the room?
Not terribly interesting. There's a lot of water damage on the books from the window to your left.
Yeah.
They don't appear to be, anything special particularly. There's some like popular histories and things like that, things for guests to read, but no books of ancient lore or what have you.
I'll do sort of the same and just kind of take a walk around the room and see if I can find anything that stands out. Because I'm curious about the notebook downstairs that we found.
Emir will kind of start to dress his wounds and clean his sword and that kind of stuff. I'm just gonna grumble out, we should fortify somewhere safe and try to hold up for the evening. What time of day is it, by the way, Dar?
Let's see. You got into town a little bit after noon, so maybe 1 or 2 o'clock. It's probably been, by the time you walked up and walked back here and fought, a couple of hours. So we're probably looking at maybe 4 o'clock in the afternoon, close to sunset, but not quite there. Fitz, are you just searching around in this room? So basically,
Yeah,
this
just
room
this
is
one for right now.
yeah, this room's pretty much as described. Nothing terribly interesting. Um, there's obviously the hallway that goes back to some doors down the hall. Um, yeah, this room has absolutely had a rough winter.
Well, if we want to stay in this area, we could block off the hallway and the staircase and potentially get a fire going in the fireplace. It would be comfortable enough for the night.
I think I'd feel more comfortable if we checked each of the rooms.
Aye, we should
I've
secure the rooms first. And then
I was already
So-
woken up last night.
Fine. I guess we should throw some ball bearings down the hall, right?
It worked for me, perhaps.
Mira can uncheckle and stand up. I got some life in me still. Let's clear the rest of this floor and then we'll decide what we want to do. And then I'll come over here and look on the hall door. Is this hall like? Are these doors or these windows? I'm trying to understand what's going on with this hallway.
Yeah, these are doors. So there's 3 doors on the left and 3 doors on the right. They're all simple interior wooden doors. They're several of them are hanging ajar. Like the one to your right is ajar, and the one in the middle on the left is ajar.
Okay. So I'll draw my sword again and look behind me and just make sure everybody kind of looks like they're paying attention. And say, ready to check the rest of the rooms.
Dolan salutes with his rapier.
Yeah, it looks like that's probably the about order we'd be in. We should all line up so the undead zombie mage can step out of the room and cast a spell through all of us.
Let me roll.
Yeah, get a good straight group.
Magic
And then
arrow
I'll-
of piercing +3.
Exactly right. Then I'll step forward and I'll look through the left doorway first, just keeping cover with the door with the wall, and just try to assess what's in the room since the door's off its hinge.
Okay. Very carefully peek around the door frame. It's like an empty, fairly well-appointed room. Nothing inside that you can see. Similar to the other rooms that you've seen, there's some water damage, some broken furniture, and moldy bed linens, but no zombies.
And the door frame on the right, you said was hanging ajar, or was it closed?
The one on the right is closed.
I'll grab the handle, and I slowly open the door, keeping cover around the door frame as well.
Empty.
First rooms are clear. And I'll walk to the next set. Are you hanging out back there, Dolman, or are you moving up too?
I'll keep moving forward.
Okay. So what's the situation of the next two doors?
The door on your left is hanging slightly open. The one on your right is closed. And then the two that are at the end of the hall are both closed as well.
At the very end of the hall, is it a window out, or is it a doorway to the room?
That's a window at the very end.
So I'll look through the hanging door again on the left, same procedure as last time.
Empty.
Okay, and then I'll open the door. Right.
Nothing.
Interesting. All right, then I'll move to the last set.
Before you open the last set, I'm going to slip by you and come to that point.
Yep, makes sense. That's learning tactics.
My poor monsters
Yeah.
don't stand a chance.
What's the state of these doors?
Both closed.
Okay. I'll motion to everybody that I'm going to grab the left first, and then I'll open it slowly.
Smaller room than the others, but empty.
Yeah, I'll look back, clear, and then I'll reach for the right handle and push it open.
There's an absolutely disgusting scent in this room. But it doesn't take much longer to identify that it's just because there's been standing water in the tub for about 3 months. It's got sort of a disgusting skim of filth on the top. There's an open window in here. A lot of water damage on the floor underneath it.
Okay. I'll hold my breath and step in the room. I'll poke my sword down in the water and make sure there's nothing hiding in there.
A zombie sit. No, okay, it's totally empty.
Okay. I'll step back out.
Shoot paranoid PCs.
I like that you left the map control on or off until after we clean everything. Are you so paranoid? The rooms are clear. Let's secure this floor. We can guard the steps. It should be fairly safe. Camp here for the night.
So tokens are unlocked. You can go ahead and go where you will.
I go ahead and in and explore the room that I'm in there.
Okay. Are you looking at or for anything specific, or just looking around?
Just kind of curiously digging through things, seeing whether there's anything that might provide clues to what happened here, or anything sparkly too. I like sparklies.
Okay. Go ahead and give me an investigation roll. Okay. You do find in one of the cabinets, there's a small agate bracelet that somebody left on a shelf. Let me throw that into the...
Also for loot, we kind of established last time, Dorgrim, that Dor is just throwing loot into general loot, but if you want to claim something personally for yourself, just like let him know.
Yeah, that works.
Have you used the party sheet in Fantasy Grounds before with the loot?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So that's got a bunch of loot stacked up from last time. Nothing else really of interest in this room, though. Morning, sleepyhead.
Morning.
All right. What's anyone else doing or looking around at?
I'm probably gonna search this big room. Amir also likes the idea of sleeping in it if it's the most intact or if it looks like it's sleepable.
Okay. Give me an investigation roll. Looks like a pretty nice bedroom. I mean, the covers are all sort of gross and moldy and ugh, but otherwise it's fairly comfortable.
Amir will kind of start to shuck his gear off and probably put himself, somewhere where he is sightlines the window and the door, and lean against the wall and slide down it. Fitz here in the room with me?
Yeah.
Okay. I think I'll be sleeping here. Feel free to scrounge around in the drawers and such. I didn't really keep a keen eye for any clues. Just looking for a place to rest.
I think I'll make a sort of half-hearted attempt to gather pieces of splintered wood for the fire, but kind of look through the room as well.
Okay.
Investigation?
Yeah.
I forgot there was a fireplace. Okay, maybe that's where I'll end up staying.
That was
The fire.
I was going to say my next move is to walk out to the fireplace and see whether it is usable. And
I'm
think
afraid
about
of
getting a
burning
fire
the inn
going.
down.
We all die from carbon monoxide.
You do find some old furniture you can break down for firewood, Fitz, but nothing interesting or loot-esque. Dolman, anything that you were going to do? Chilling, playing bard music.
Is anyone injured during that fight?
Amir is definitely injured, yeah.
All right.
Is it half health?
I offer magical healing if you want it.
Yeah, I want to find anything to take this edge off, absolutely.
Nice roll.
Full health.
And then I've got one more of those left if anyone else needs it.
Yeah, I've got some cuts and bruises.
Ah, there you are. Okay.
Should heal the rest off when we rest, so you'll be alright.
And with that, I'd like to move into this room and attempt to prestidigitate the linens clean.
Oh, sneaky.
All right.
I'm gonna scrounge around in this room.
All right, Fitz, go ahead and give me an investigation roll.
Do we have an investigation monkey on the team? Is that anybody's strength?
I have +4.
Okay, so it fits.
I think me and Fitz both have.
You guys should be our appointed room searchers then.
Dolman, the linens in here are nice and clean, as if they were freshly laundered.
Mira will stand up, freshly invigorated from the healing, and just kind of start chuckling. Well, that's a good trick. You'll have to teach me that sometime.
Love to. It's extremely useful. I give the bed frame just a couple of hard kicks, just in case, to see if it's going to be able to hold any weight.
Yeah, the underlying structure seems sound. There's a little bit of water damage on the floor, but it doesn't look like the bed frame has rotted.
Okay. In that case, I'm going to get comfy.
Okay, Fitz, as you search around this room, there are two things that catch your eye. At the foot of the bed is a backpack made of rather fine leather, or it was made of rather fine leather before it sat under this open window all winter and has been fairly water stained. But there is still a pack sitting there. And on the ledge of the window, there is what was probably a bottle of ink that is since tipped over and is empty. There's a pen, although the nib is obviously rusted and it's probably unusable. And there's a fairly fine-looking book that, again, like everything else, has been sort of soaked over the winter time. But there is a book laying on the window ledge above the pack.
All right, I'll take the book and put it in the pack and throw it in my shoulder to sort of look through in a little bit once
Okay.
I make it back to the main hall.
Okay.
Emir's over at the fire too, just gathering what bits of wood he can to throw in the furnace if we ever determine if it's usable or not.
Yeah, so the fireplace looks undamaged. There's some old coals still in the fireplace, and it's dirty. But the overall structure of the chimney and everything, the flue, doesn't look damaged at all. So it should be safe to build a fire.
I'll get to work doing that. Kind of using my smithing skills to start a fire. I don't have wilderness stuff, but I am a smith. You'd think I'd know how to start a fire.
Yeah, you can probably start a fire. Give me a survival roll. It's a little harder without bellows and the implements of the forge, but yeah, using your, I assume you've got, we'll assume you got flint and tinder.
I do.
Use some of the books as tinder and broken furniture as fuel, and you've got a nice fire going there in no time.
Warm my hands over it.
After I got that going, I'm going to move that couch over to block off the staircase.
I'll assist him with that too.
Very cool. You guys, it's a little awkward, but you maneuver it over to block the stairs. And anything that wants to come up the stairs is going to have to climb over it awkwardly.
There's dwarven ingenuity. Kind of chuckle. Sit down near the fireplace. Start spreading out my bedroll.
I'll also start making camp near the fire.
Has anybody investigated this room I'm standing in?
Nope.
I don't think we investigated that block of 4 rooms over there. Is that the case?
Yeah.
The one north of Fitz, Torgrim looked through. But other than that, that's correct.
I'll run an investigation roll in this room.
Cool. Take a while to look through the bed, check the chest at the foot of the bed, the windowsill. But there's nothing of value here. Moldy sheets.
Can always drain the bathtub and see what's at the bottom of the water. Contagion.
I'm still on the hunt in this room.
Okay. You scrounge through everything, check under the bed, check the cabinet. Nothing to be found. The last tenant of this took all their belongings with them. For you guys out in the main room too, don't forget there are 4 zombie corpses laying on the floor in here. Uh,
Oh yeah, they didn't just vanish.
right.
Yeah. Okay. We'll go through the onerous task of picking them up and dragging them to the northwest corner of the room.
Will they go out the window?
It'll let in the cold though. If we break it any further.
A lot of the windows are already either open or, yeah. You could probably shove one out a window if you wanted to.
I guess we should check them too to see if there's like any signs of like notes or ledgers or any clues on their bodies before we just throw them out windows. Um, Also, Amir won't suggest you're letting them out windows. Torgrim, if you want to, you have to make the suggestion. I don't think it's something he'd come up with.
Yeah, when you start piling them up in the corner, yeah. Why don't we just throw them out the window? Smell less if we did that.
It's kind of a grim look on his face.
They do
Just so
smell unpleasant.
unceremonious. But I suppose the smell will get to us. I guess I have no objections if nobody else does.
I'm okay with it. I'll help you.
You didn't notice the smell as much when it was cold in here, but now that it's starting to warm up.
Yeah. Checked our pockets and such, and then roll them out one by one.
Okay, give me an investigation roll.
I'll search.
Okay, I'll just pile on them while you're searching.
Okay. One of them does have a small belt pouch, and in the belt pouch is a small book and a few coins.
I will read the book.
Give me, let's see, 12 gold, 47 silver pieces, and the book is in the loot list. Looks like it was the innkeeper's journal.
Nice. That's my athletics roll, by the way, just to heave the corpses.
Okay. All right, you start shoving corpses out the window. They're sort of big and awkward and unwieldy dead weight. You can probably get them through, but it's going to be slow going.
Yep.
I'm gonna sort of try and hold down my vomit and search this room and maybe go through the water with a stick, see if I hit on anything.
Okay. You don't find anything terribly interesting in the shelf in here. You take a piece of wood off the floor and start to move the water around a little bit. It is absolutely stomach-turningly gross. But for your trouble, you do find nothing.
Fuck.
Um,
Guys, this innkeeper's journal has a pretty interesting script in it.
as I'm shoving corpses out the window. Oh,
Yeah.
what's it say?
Yeah, keep me entertained while we're getting rid of these.
It's like on the 6th day, 26th Uktar, 1487. We have our first guest from outside in a long while, and he's an odd one. Calls himself Ostius, and he's a priest of the scribe god. Says he's here to write down the history of things or some other nonsense. He's been asking everyone about Lord Rushing's keep, as if anyone outside this valley will give a damn. Never mind, he wants to waste his time, though the coin is good. Next entry. First day, first night all. 1487. Damn the day that bastard came to Rushing Falls. I'll not have his name on my ledger, and I'll burn the linens he touched. Well, I guess that explains why his name was scratched out. After dusk, we gathered to say our prayers and give the honors. When that cursed priest came down the mountain, before anyone knew what was happening, he worked some vile spell, and magic Jer Thane's oldest boy turned him into some bloodthirsty monster. It took 4 men to put the boy down proper, and not before he'd killed Jer, too. Some of us chased the priest back up the mountain with knives and whatever we had to hand, but he turned Sorrel Conten into another of those things and ran into the old castle cellar. We had to kill poor old Sorrel, and one had the stomach to follow the priest down into the dark, so we left some men to watch the place with pitchforks. There ain't a damn one of us that can deal with some evil cleric, though, and if he wants out, it'll be a bloody affair. The miller's boy headed down towards the shores at first light. Maybe they can find us some help. The tanner down there was a fighting man.
Well, that seems pretty telling. What was the name of the man that they accused of working foul magics?
Ostius.
Ostius of anything, or just Ostius?
Just Ostius.
Is he in the other book?
Well, it matches the name that was scratched out.
That one does say of somewhere, but doesn't say where. Historian, though, I'm guessing. Ostius of something historian. What's the scribe god's name?
Shrug.
I don't know.
This is one of my gods.
There's another interesting note in here. Third day, third night, all 1487. Think tomorrow. Fortune is with us. By some miracle, the miller's boys found some capable-looking men at the bridge over the Rushing, and they've agreed to help. What are the chances there'd be strangers here just when we need them? First thing in the morning, they're going down after the bastard.
Mir will sigh heavily. That would be our party then.
Maybe. In the innkeeper's records, wasn't it Kerr Lund of Neverwinter that checked in on the third day?
True. Perhaps there's another group around here.
No, that is one of our guys. Whoops. Yeah, it was them.
Yeah.
Okay.
Second day, 12th night, all 1487. We had to face facts. No one is coming out of that cellar. They would have come up by now if they were going to. We've shouted ourselves hoarse from the stairs, and all we've heard is our damned echoes. We had a meeting, and it was a hard decision, but everyone agreed we have to look after our own. We pulled some rocks over the door and sealed it up with stones. There were good folks who only wanted to help us. May the fine rest with whatever gods they prayed to. The other one, though, can rot in the 9 hells. I wish he hadn't killed old Sorrel. I'm feeling sickly these last 3 days and could use his herb lore. There are no more entries.
Thus the end of Rushing Falls. Well, we know what we must do.
Seems like, yes.
I walk into the common room and sort of hear the tail end of this and let everyone know that I found a bag and a book as well. It seems to be a scribe's book. And open it up.
All right, so in the backpack, let's see, you find a small bag of sand like you'd use for blotting ink. You find a bottle of ink still stoppered, and another pen. Small knife. There are a few torches in the bag, and a few flasks of oil, some loose parchment, and the book. When you open the book, you see it was Kerr's journal.
Who's carrying
The apprentice that I'm coming to follow.
him? Okay. Are we done heaving the corpses out the window by now, by the way?
Yes.
I'll do my best to wipe my hands off on some old furniture, linens, as clean as I can, and then look to Fitz. You're gonna read the entries.
I will do my best. That's the third night. It has been some days since I have had occasion to write. I shall attempt now to lay down the events of the last days. I need to put my fucking glasses on. Hold on a minute. I literally can't read this.
It's
Fitz
tough.
pulls.
Yeah,
Our-
it's
our-
really tough.
Fitz
Our
pulls out his
journey-
glasses.
Yeah, our journey over the mountain was largely uneventful, though we encountered some interesting ruins, very interesting ruins. The statue in the past, I believe, depicts First Lord Rushing from the days before the Black Horde put the lords of the I don't know what the rest of that is. Anybody else got idea? Lords of the Stone Valley to rout, maybe?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Aye, the orcs.
I've found my companions to be pleasing enough. Eldon is taciturn, and
The one
Dogman.
called Dogman.
the one called Dogman is nearly mute, although not.
Unpleasant.
Oh, good, unpleasant.
Provided one remains upwind.
Most enjoyed speaking with Dolgan and listening to his tale of campaigns past.
Of his
Of his recent history, he will not speak and grows quiet.
At the asking?
Yeah, that's probably it. At the asking. So I endeavored.
That's the guy I was looking for, right, Dor? To the
Yes.
best of my knowledge. Yeah, Amir will kind of just give out a low snort at that.
So I endeavor to keep the talk on more pleasant matters. Since I let slip my views on our enterprise, Dolgan has been pressing me to put Gundren in front of Master Armin, and I may do so. I don't know what the ramen goes. Who is it? Draman or something? Who? Oh, Armin. Armin. Yeah. Armin knows much that could help Gundren in his quest, though I expect information will not come without a price. Spent several days in Crystal Shores helping to arrange services and accommodations for Mylan. They're good folk.
But wary of outsiders.
Wow, that's it. Good. Yeah, wary of outsiders. Knowing Mylene, she will charm them in no time.
We left Crystal Shores second nighthall to begin our passage to the Blackwater Vale and Phandelver.
Aye, the mines.
Late in the afternoon, we were stopped by two panicked left youths on the stone bridge over the rushing. They claimed an evil cleric had attacked the village, that they had trapped him somewhere underground, and that they needed our help. After discussion, we agreed to help. Not only
Is it the right thing to do, but an evil cleric in the Stone Valley murdering townsfolk could provide problematic when establishing a profitable caravan route. We all agreed except Dogman. He encouraged us not to go, said he'd had a bad feeling or so, some familiar foolishness. Unsurprisingly, that the uneducated are often superstitious. When we insisted, he gave us his
Share of Gundren's gold, and walked away.
Toward the Vale. An odd man, perhaps. We will meet him again in the Phandelver. It is late, and I must put my pen away. Tomorrow we reach Rushing Falls and this Aosis Fogma. Oh shit, Fogma.
what is
It's
what is
Fogma, whatever that word is, it's the same entry in the journal.
We'll go ahead and say that now that you've seen the word written out.
Finally.
Yeah, we'll call that good. Ogma's the god of knowledge, human god of knowledge in the Forgotten Realms.
Yeah, I recognized it like out of character initially. There's no way Demir would know anything about Ogma. Interesting. Who is this Kara Lund? Someone you're looking for, Fitz, correct?
It's a fairly long story, but I owed it to... He was the apprentice of a man who helped me, and I owed it to him to come and find about his whereabouts. I don't know the boy personally, but I've heard he's a good boy. He's a good man.
I fear for the party, based on the previous entries in the Keeper's Journal. Probably they're all dead beneath the mountains. We'll have to search for them all the same. Disappointing. Although it sounds as though this dogman made for the mines. Maybe we can find him and get the full story at some point.
That's the dog man. He's my best friend from childhood. We were supposed to be in that caravan together. I unfortunately didn't make it. I believe he thought me to be dead. But
Wow.
when the dog man gets a scent of something bad, you should probably listen to him.
It appears his instincts were correct in this case.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad at least your friend lives. There's some joy in that.
Don't like this evil cleric talk, and us without a cleric of our own.
Clerics die like any other man, or dwarf. So we'd simply find them and stick a blade through them. After we get a story from them, if possible.
I agree. This man must be dealt with. Maybe, perchance, we can find something on him to show us how to remove this curse that he put on these people. Or maybe if we kill him, the curse will be lifted.
I sort of realized that Dolman's not here. We should perhaps wake Dolman and let him know what we found.
Just like an elf to be sleeping when there's work to be done.
You could hear the music coming from the room, probably.
Or playing music. Although it sounds as though he's playing something familiar. I'll walk over towards the door and rap on it.
Oh, the door. I left the door open.
Peek in.
He stops playing and goes, "Well, did we find anything? Do we have a lead?"
Quite so, yes. We figured out, we think what's going on. Turns out our party came to Rushing Falls to help the village rid themselves of some sort of evil cleric of Agma who was turning some of the villagers into the creatures we've put down. Fled under the cellar. I think in the ruins we already searched, maybe a different castle. And they sealed it, so we'll have to search, try to find the party. Seems as though there's only one survivor that we know of the company. Some dogmen who headed for the mines.
Anyone who thinks that their character would know something about human gods, feel free to make a religion check.
I mean, Agma's a very common god, so if you lived on the
Yes.
surface, you would know. So you should make it rule.
If you know anything
Amir
about
spent
religion
some
at all,
time.
really.
Yeah.
Yeah, Adolaman, this feels strange to you because Agma is definitely not he's not an evil god. His followers aren't known for being, evil dudes. He's a scribe god. He's a god of knowledge. His followers seek knowledge. So the term evil cleric of Agma doesn't make a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Same for you, Fitz.
Well, among the dwarves from now on, he's going to be an evil god. If Amir and I have anything to say about it.
I honestly think this might be more of the actions of the man rather than the god.
Why do you think so? Oh, by the way, I'm talking to him in the doorway of the room. I don't know if anybody else is over here listening to our conversation.
We can all hear you.
I pull up my journal. Agma's mostly, from what I remember, in charge of stuff like this. Journals and scribing and the like. I can't say I'm particularly religious, but I don't remember any cataclysms he's caused like on any of the other ones. He's no Bane for sure.
Interesting. Strange that the god would let his divinity be used so foully. Maybe there's more to the story. All the same, the man is probably going to end up on the end of a blade if I have anything to say about it.
We should get some rest. Head back up to those falls in the morning.
No. Are we all in agreement then that we're going to pursue this man beneath the cellar that they sealed?
I don't want to nods.
I made a promise, and I have to follow through on it, whether I like it or not.
We need to know for sure what happened to the rest of the group, so that we can report back to Gundrum.
Find the source of this damn plague.
All in agreement. We have a new pact for our company. Let's rest for the evening and then set out in the morning. We should have more than enough time to get enough sleep tonight. AKA long rest.
Yep, long rest. Anything? So right now it's probably sundown. Right around 5:30, we'll say 6 o'clock. Anything you want to do before going to sleep, or just go to sleep, wake up?
I'm just gonna trance rest.
I'll speak up before people settle down. If anybody goes and explores Rushing, be careful. There's liable to be more of these creatures. We can clear it for safe passage after we deal with this cleric.
I'll eat some rations before packing it in for the night.
Yep, same.
Everybody
Does
remember
everybody
to
have
remove a ration.
rations?
Yeah, I do.
Well, I've got 1 day's rations. Oh no, I've got 10 of those. Okay, so I've got plenty.
I was the only one who bought extra rations, which is why I'm asking.
I have
I have 10 days.
14.
All right, yeah, we should have enough for everybody.
I actually don't have any. Come to think of it.
I'll pass you 5.
Thank you. Very kind.
Now I'm done to 14 as well. We'll do that long rest thing, I guess. Who wants to stand first guard?
I could. I'll volunteer.
I've also yet to take a watch, so I'll gladly take second.
That's fine. Let Fitz do the first 4 hours, and I'll trance during that time, and then take the second 4. Let everybody get full night's sleep.
All right.
It's appreciated.
It's nice having 2 elves with the trance. Yeah, get some cover of full rest.
Fitz is only half elf,
Oh shit, you can't trance. Okay.
so
So good.
you actually are going to need 2 people and then Wop.
So Dolman, Fitz, and then Logan.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's right. We're thick with elves in this thing, aren't we?
Half elves.
Best of both worlds.
Well, did you just change the color of the UI? Or am I like drinking?
Yeah, it's
drinking
evening.
drugs? Okay.
That's night passing.
I thought it was like
My vision's going. Ah!
Realistic day-night cycles.